Good morning, Ohio. James Lewis of This Dream House, a show that is all about the house. Joining us today from AEW is BJ Whitmer.
How you doing, James?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Oh, not too bad. Nice day here in Cincinnati.
What is All Elite Wrestling?
All Elite Wrestling is a new professional organization that is founded by Tony Khan,
Mhm.
of the Khan family that owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they own, I think, the Fulham City Premier League soccer club or football club
Mhm.
in England.
That explains the hat.
Yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I got to support who writes my paycheck.
Oh, definitely. That's understandable. Yeah, because that was one of the questions at one point I had planned on asking you. I was going to ask you who's your current favorite football team because I know you're a local guy, so Bengals. But, yeah, I was going to say now that the Cons, it's hard to root against the Jaguars.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So what is the Elite?
The Elite is a professional wrestling group that consists of the Young Bucks,
Mhm.
Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, and Adam Page. And they kind of got their start together as a group
Mhm.
with the Bullet Club in New Japan, and it kind of like morphed and transitioned into the Elite.
So they have their own show or something like that on YouTube or
They have
Netflix?
a YouTube series,
Yeah.
very successful
Mhm.
YouTube series called Being the Elite. It's very entertaining. Even if you're not really a wrestling fan, it's pretty entertaining.
Excellent. Yeah, that's what I've heard. That it's definitely beyond just basic wrestling. It's definitely something unique.
Yes, and the comedy, I think, is very, very funny.
Excellent. So, are your performers? Are they wrestlers? Are they sports entertainers? Are they something else? What are they?
I think a combination of, at the core and at their heart, they're professional wrestlers. And
Mhm.
that's what the marquee says, all elite wrestling.
Exactly.
But in that same vein, you also have to be an entertainer
hmm
when you are a wrestler.
Now, I just like to ask that question because I know with other companies, if I say the W word, they will be like, no, you don't get any more interviews because we don't have those. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have those? It's in the title. But, yeah, I know it. You know what I'm going there. What is your role in the company?
I wear many hats in the company right now. We're just starting ground up, startup company. So it's very exciting, actually, to be involved at the ground level.
Oh, definitely.
I'm involved in the production aspect. I'm involved in the operations, the logistics aspect. So like most of us within the company right now, we're all wearing a lot of hats. But yeah, mine is primarily based in like the production standpoint and in the operations, logistics, travel standpoint.
It lists you as a coach. So what would a coach do for professional wrestlers?
Coaches help with the matches if you
Mhm.
guys have questions about anything, and we also help in the production aspect of the matches as well.
Just throwing this out there, this would be a dream match I think would be awesome, would be the coaches versus each other. I mean, seriously, because it's what, you, Malenko, I don't know if we can call him Billy anymore.
Billy Gunn, yeah.
Okay, so we still can, Sweet. And then, what was he? Oh, Jerry Lynn, yeah. So the interesting thing would be trying to figure out which way to tag you up. Now, I've thought you and Malenko, because you're similar personalities.
Okay.
But then again, I also think you and Lynn, because you're both, your companies were different than, the mainstream versus the off-stream.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Obviously, you
all
and...
my wrestling days are over.
Oh, darn. It was worth a shot.
I've made the transition behind the scenes.
Yeah, because I was going to say, when my boy Glacier was in the Battle Royal there, I was like, well, maybe anything's possible. You never know.
No,
That's cool. Oh, dang. Yeah, then, after that. Let's see. Tell us about the impact that your trainers, Les Thatcher and Harley Race, had on you.
Les Thatcher was my primary trainer, and he instilled, a very good understanding of the basics and the foundation and fundamentals of professional wrestling. At that time, like when I broke in, we weren't really we didn't have a TV show or anything like that. So it was primarily, focusing on the in-ring and promo aspect of the business, and he made sure that we had a solid foundation, a solid core of fundamentals. And then Harley Race, who just recently passed away, was responsible for giving me my first break within the business. My first tours of Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan when I was only like 18 months in the business.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 18 months from my first match, I was on my way to Japan for my first
Oh, nice.
week tour, which is kind of unheard of. But yeah, Harley had a big impact as well as Les early on in my career.
Yeah, I mean,
Les, to this day, I still call him for advice and stuff, and we stay in touch with Les.
well, that's always good. Yeah, I mean, he has just got such an extensive tree of people that he has trained over the years.
Absolutely, and even like back in the territory days of professional wrestling, he was had a very big impact in Southeastern wrestling based out of Knoxville, and like implemented some changes into the production of that TV that hadn't been seen and are kind of still used to this day. So now that I'm more behind the
Mhm.
scenes, I pick his brain a lot on the TV production
Exactly.
aspect of things. Even though it's a little different because that was studio wrestling,
Yeah.
and this is going to be like arena
Mhm.
style TV wrestling. It's a little different, but I mean, TV production is TV production at its core.
It really feels that All In was not just a big event for your organization, but a big event for professional wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, it really showed that there is room for like an alternate product out there, and that there's a want and a need
Mhm.
from wrestling fans for an alternate product. And it was an amazing event to like be a part of, and and help like produce and just be there at that ground level.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it feels really that, the competition factor really does drive professional wrestling to be so much better because when it's just one thing by itself, you don't really have to do anything special. But the fact that you're, going, even though you're not going head to head on Mondays, you think, how can I top the other guy? And same with when you're wrestling a great wrestler, you want to keep topping the other one and do a better move.
Yeah, I mean, like with wrestling, you want to like put on the best performance as
Yeah.
possible. So yeah, and it's like there's a friendly competition within the guys in the back when you are a wrestler,
Mhm.
like just a one-upsmanship sometimes.
Exactly.
You could say.
Yeah. So it feels like the Khan family has changed the landscape of professional wrestling. Is that true?
I think with the Khan family starting All Elite Wrestling, it's given fans an alternative product.
Mhm.
Excuse me, there to watch, and I think it's something that's needed. And like, what an exciting time in professional wrestling! What an exciting time to be a fan.
Oh,
of
definitely.
professional wrestling right now. So I think that's like you said. Ask how they changed the landscape. I think they've made it a very, very exciting time to be a fan of professional wrestling right now.
Back to the all in question. I was going to say how the oh gosh, Dave Meltzer kind of threw out that challenge for the 10,000 tickets. I always felt that some of those organizations, given the right opportunity, could do something like that. I mean, the Ring of Honors, the TNA, if they would have maybe gotten together and did something like this, the all in, that competition amongst each other to just kind of build it up.
Yeah, I mean, All In was the first show in I forget how many years outside of WWE to sell over like 10,000
Exactly.
tickets, and being an independent company to sell like that many tickets. It's a pretty phenomenal thing.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, because I kept trying to get them to ROH to come to BB&T Arena, and they just kept telling me the arena ain't the right size. But I just think that I mean, there's so much potential in the in professional wrestling.
Professional wrestling, I mean, it's all in the promotion and advertising and letting people know that you are in the area and that tickets are for sale.
So the vice presidents of the company have been doing an amazing job. What's your thoughts?
We have what 4 EVPs, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, Cody Rhodes, and Kenny Omega as EVPs, and I'm sure like all the rest of us that are employees of the company, they're wearing many hats right
Oh,
now.
definitely.
Many appearances to make and stuff like that with whether it be Turner Media or whoever they have to set excuse me these meetings up with. I'm sure they're super busy and
Exactly.
they're doing a great job, like everybody within the organization has, where everybody's pulling in the same direction for this.
It feels not just the fans, but the wrestlers are excited about AEW.
Yeah, it gives the guys, and speaking as a former talent, it gives like more job opportunities for people in professional wrestling, and that's another way we'll go back to how the Khan family has changed the landscape of professional wrestling. With starting a new company, you've opened up a bunch of more jobs and a bunch more opportunities for people to have employment in professional.
So tell us about the overall talent.
The overall talent, I think we are the EVPs, AEW, Tony Khan. I think they've assembled an amazing roster. They've picked out and plucked guys out that haven't got some mainstream publicity yet, and I think are going to make a very big impact, not only in AEW, but in the entire professional wrestling genre.
And then, of course, for our Ohio fans, you got a lot of local talent. We got you, who is from Kentucky, Northern Kentucky.
Yep.
And then we got another young lady, Leva Bates, who's from Kentucky. And then, of course, Johnny Moxley.
Yep. So there's 3 of us with 2 of us with ties really to the Cincinnati
Mhm.
area here, and I believe Leva is from the western part of the state of Kentucky. But yeah, I mean it's really cool to see a couple local guys like myself and Moxley end up with positions. Moxley is one of the top talents in AEW, and myself is someone that's on the ground level from an operational and like logistics standpoint and production standpoint.
in some wrestling organizations, winning's not a priority anymore. It feels like in AEW, winning is going to be important. How is that?
Yeah, that was one thing that Tony Khan and the EVPs set as a standard for AEW right off the bat is that wins and losses will count
Mm-hmm.
as to who gets title shots and so forth
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So I think that's going to add a very cool and a very interesting aspect to our television show.
Excellent. So it's not one of those where, hey, this guy's been a jobber for the last 6 months. Let's have him have 2 wins and then give him a world title shot, which makes no sense. So titles, speaking of that, what titles do you all offer?
I believe right now we got the AEW World Championship, we have Tag Team Championships, and I believe we're also doing a Women's Championship. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw on our social media feeds over the last few days that the first Women's Champion will be crowned on our first television.
Yes, during the first match. Or not the first match, but the first event, yes. And then with that, you've had some great events, Double or Nothing, Fight or Feast, Fight for the Fallen, which is my favorite because of how that goes to be a charity event.
Yeah, that one, I believe they donated it was over $100,000, maybe $150,000.
$150,000, yep.
To that local charity that will disperse the money to the victims of the Jacksonville shooting that happened last year at the Madden video game tournament, which is a very sad thing.
Oh, sheesh, yeah. Of all those events, what do you feel has been some of the highlights?
Double or Nothing was awesome since it was the very first AEW All Elite Wrestling show, and that was very cool to be a part of, and be backstage, and the energy that was just in the locker room, not just in the locker room, but amongst the fans in the building was very awesome. It's a night I won't forget. And then Fighter Fest was more of a boutique show, which was very cool when we partnered up with the CEO Gaming.
Yeah, you had that cosplay aspect of it, yeah.
A whole big video game convention that we had partnered up with, and they were in the convention center next door to the arena there, and that was cool because it exposed AEW to some people that might not have been wrestling fans, and I think we might have pulled them in as
nice
AEW fans. And then, like you said, Fight for the Fallen was a charity show, and we have our big pay-per-view coming up at the end of the month, All Out, from the Sears Center and right outside of Chicago, Illinois.
So you got the World Championship going to be crowned, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho. Any thoughts on that match?
I'm really looking forward to watching that match. Hangman Page, Adam Page, young guy who has so much upside, and then Chris Jericho, the wily veteran.
Exactly. He's won everything, everywhere. It feels like.
And it still has a ton left in the tank. If you
exactly.
Watch him wrestle, he's still got so much left in the tank.
I don't know. It seems like he's too busy, going on cruises and doing rock shows.
He keeps a busy schedule, but
No, shoot, if we could, who wouldn't want to go on cruises?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And he stays busy, and he still delivers in the ring night in, night out.
Excellent. You mentioned Johnny Moxley earlier. He's fighting Kenny Omega. That is just a super match. That should be
that's a dream match.
That should be a highlight ahead of the pay-per-view.
I guess that would probably be one of the top 2 to 3 matches.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick and put something as the main event
over a world championship. Yeah.
Right. But that match, Kenny Omega, who's one of the top professional wrestlers on the planet right now, and you got John Moxley, who's been reinvigorated, I guess you could say.
Oh, definitely.
Just ready to rock and roll right now. So I'm looking forward to that match.
And then I like the old school rivalry of Tully Blanchard versus the Rhodes family.
Yeah, we have Cody Rhodes facing Sean Spears at All Out as well, and Sean has brought in Tully Blanchard as his manager, I guess you could say, or his ring second. And who knows the Rhodes family better than Tully Blanchard?
Hey, I can't think of almost anybody. He has just got such tradition with them. Now, of course, though, I know AEW doesn't have a lot of countouts. But you know what? I think in this match, the ref is going to raise his hand and count to 10. Do you think any chance?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting match. I'm looking forward to that match as well.
And then, of course, the big announcement why we have you here today, Wednesday, October 2nd on TNT, a 2-hour show, not a 1-hour show, not a 3-hour show, right in the middle, right in that sweet spot, 2 hours. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that'll be from the Capital One Arena in Washington, D.C. We've sold it out, which is awesome. And I'm really looking forward to being a part of that historic event.
Oh, definitely.
Be a part of Double or Nothing before wrestling's at 2-hour mark.
Exactly. And not that I was going to say, not that we're going to get any insights or any secrets on this, but of course you have to think of that WCW opening night, where you had Luger and Pillman, that first match, that first exciting match, the main event, Sting and Flair, and a surprise of Lex Luger. So of course we're going to see some type of things similar to that with AEW. Obviously we can't say who those or what those are.
Yeah, I don't know what is planned creatively for that debut. I'm just tune in, find out what we have.
Fortunately, we can say though there will be a women's champion crown.
I believe that was announced via AEW social media, which I believe is at AE Wrestling. So we're going to get a women's champion crowned on that very first show, on our debut show on TNT, and how cool is that?
That is awesome. And of course, I know I'm preaching to the choir on this, a U.S. Bank Arena, a Cintas Center, a BB&T, something like that, to have AEW come to town. Now, of course, on the downside, I'm sure you will be indicted with, requests. Hey, hey, remember we went to school together. We did this, whatever. Can I have some tickets? And then, of course, with it selling out, no, you can't, because it's going to sell out, because you've been selling out everywhere.
So far we have, and hopefully that streak continues. As far as asking about a show in Cincinnati, or BB&T or something like that, I don't know. I don't handle the operations on that.
I understand.
The buildings, but I mean, it would be super cool.
Oh yeah.
We'll pass a memo to the guy.
Definitely.
Booking our arenas and stuff, and let him know that Cincinnati is.
Oh, we're requesting it, yes. And I mean, worst case scenario, even if we don't get Cincinnati, even if we could get Columbus or Indianapolis, I'm sure our fans in Cincinnati and Ohio are willing to drive to those venues to see such a great product.
Yeah, and the thing with Cincinnati is it's kind of a centralized location.
Exactly.
In the Midwest, and within an hour and a half, 2 hours, you have Columbus, you have Lexington.
Oh yeah, and people would travel from those places to come down here to see AEW, I believe.
Yeah, and I think no matter where you put a show, I think the fans from Louisville would drive to Cincinnati, or the fans from Cincinnati would drive to Lexington, or so on.
Exactly.
So I think there's a good core of traveling fans in each of those markets that would travel to the shows.
So before we let you go, where on social media, where on the web should they check you and AEW out?
My social media, which I'm not active on Instagram, just started that up, but I'm not super active on Twitter either, but I do have a Twitter. It's at BJ_Whitmer. And then I believe the social media accounts for AEW are both for Twitter and Instagram are at AE Wrestling.
Excellent. Thank you for joining us today, BJ.